Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's a live studio, and my guests are already here with me to talk about issues that concerns you and I. This time around, government policies and implementation, and we are taking a look at these on arrival, policy in view. Many Nigerians are saying no to it, many are saying yes to it, others are just indifferent about it. Some of the opinion that is going to boost the economy, is going to create more job opportunity, is going to open Nigeria to African market. While others are saying is going to cause serious political threat, is going to cause national stability and unity, is going to rattle Nigeria from its foundation on a negative dimension. Why others? I was like, when that happen, it doesn't happen. If I would say kilo kami. So what side of the divide do you belong to? With me here in the studio, I have senior analysts to throw more light on this. I'd like to start my introduction by introducing a one-time governorship candidate in Edo State, a political analyst and author. Join me to welcome Bishop Akalame. Bishop, welcome to the show.
Good morning,
Wilson.
Wilson.
Your coming.
Good morning, viewers.
Right. So very close to him, he is a legal practitioner, an Islamic scholar, a political analyst. Join me to welcome Alhaji Barrister Alamin Alao. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, Wilson.
Your
Good morning, viewers.
All right. So I want to start off from you, Alhaji. Talking about the visa on another policy by the federal government. According to the research, what they really want to do is to pull up Nigeria to African markets. Now, if you are an African, you wouldn't be bothered with, getting Nigerian visa. You just come, they screen you, and they give it to you on arrival, so you can be part of what is happening in Nigeria if you want to conduct your business. According to the analysis, to be easier for you to do rather than putting that huge stress on getting visa and all that. These are some of the explanations that was used to garnish this policy by the government of the day. How do you feel about this?
Thank you very much. We know that the government of the day was democratically elected by the people of Nigeria and in the interest of Nigerians. And of course, the governments we have, both the federal and the state levels, everybody is there to act in the interest of the populace, of the nation. And it's also expected that since we are in a democracy, we should try as much as possible to ensure that no matter the policy we are implementing, the government tries to carry along the populace. No matter how beautiful the policy may be, if steps are not taken to carry the populace along, you see reactions, you see people who are saying yes and no, and that is exactly what is happening right now. But of course, the president of the nation will not intend anything but good for its country. It's one thing to intend good for your country, it's another thing, something else may happen. Now, on the visa policy, you have the advantages, you have the disadvantages. Anything at all you have in life, you have the advantages, disadvantages. Even if you buy a car, the advantages, you may get the registration early, disadvantages, it may end up killing you. Now, we want Africans to be able to move into Nigeria freely. Economically, in terms of business, of course, we have the advantage, we have the benefits. And as you have rightly said, some are looking at the other sides. We have security challenges. Some are even saying, oh, we already have enough population in Nigeria. We do not want a quantitative politician, but qualitative population. Don't just say anybody can just come in. We need expertise who will come in and develop the country, not those who will come and be dragging the jobs which are not available for Nigerians with Nigerians and so on and so forth. A lot of things have been said about it. But it should be noted that the visa-free policy, Nigeria is not the first country adopting it. And in fact, as we speak, not less than 25% of the countries in Africa already have the visa on arrival policy. So it's not something that is completely new or strange. But Nigerians are suddenly discovering that this is just happening and without their notice. And of course, we have the right as Nigeria to be aware before this decision is taken. And of course, right now we are hearing the Senate's reaction, saying, oh, no, we are not going to welcome this. So this is another area we're going to look into. The president ought to have taken steps to ensure that this matter is properly debated so that Nigerians are carried along. And then those who have the support will express their views. Those who are against it will also express their views. Of course, the minority will have their say, and the majority will have their way.
All right, all right.
But the sudden announcement of the policy by the president, even though it's the number one citizen, has generated a lot of reaction expectedly from Nigerians.
I'll come back to you, Alhaji.
Thank you.
Bishop Akalabe, you've been silent, picking out points that Alhaji Amin Alawo has been dishing out, trying to tell Nigerians, you know, his own point of view of all of this. How do you feel about this?
Thank you very much, Wusi. You see, I have a problem with our leadership. Nigeria still have a leadership problem, and I believe if we continue like this, it will be there for a very long time. In the month of July, Nigeria became a signatory to an agreement on what I call Intercontinental Africa Free Trade Movement Agreement, to encourage nationals from different African countries to move into African countries for business. Nigeria is a signatory to that agreement. And to domesticate it in the meeting of head of states in Africa, Mr. President posited that effect from January, that there will be a policy of visa on arrivals for nationals from other African countries. And the Nigeria Immigration Service announced that Mr. President has approved. I have two problems with that. Two issues.
Two issues.
I have two issues with that. It is not right. This is democracy. Don't forget that we have what is called the Nigeria Immigration Service Act. In that act, spells out the procedures, what one need to do before coming to Nigeria. So, if Mr. President must give approval on that, on visa on arrival, he ought to have called the National Assembly, the Nigeria Immigration Service, to a table meeting before approval at all. This is what I want, because it is the duty of the National Assembly to amend the act. If you are saying that other nationals can come in without visa, then bring it to the notice of the National Assembly to debate it and discuss it, and amend the same act, which has already spelled out the procedures of other African nationals coming into the country. You cannot give approval when the Nigeria Immigration Service Act has not been amended. That is where the Senate had problem, that they were not carried along. So this policy must not work. It was a policy statement made by Mr. President. It was never right, because this is the illegality we are talking about. I am not saying that it is wrong. It happened before in 1975, during the time of Gowon, where we have ECOWAS that was made up about 60 countries, that there's need for us to come together. That if we must move from, like Togo want to come to Nigeria, there should be no restriction, there's no barriers as regards to movement, so that we can have a free movement for business. It will be there. But now we are trying to extend it beyond the West Africa countries. Now, the immaturity that is there is that, so people will say that Dubai is doing that. Nigeria is not yet right for that, because right now we have approximately 200 million people in the country. And the resources we have at our disposal cannot take care of these 200 million people. And you want to You want to open the border for everybody to come in and go, free entry and free exit. We don't care what is coming in. Like those countries they are talking about. Like if you want to go to Canada, go to US now. We see the US, when you go to embassy, there are two things they look at for. The asset and liability. There are people who are liabilities. There are also people who are assets. So they want only the asset, because if you're an asset, they know when you come in, you can help them to develop their economy. So these are the kind of people you are coming. So if you come in and you are a young man or a young woman with you have a high level of intellectual capacity, then you become an asset to them. They cannot absorb you to their system, because they know that with your input, you can help them to develop. But by the time they come in, so liabilities will not come in there. So miscraft will come here. People, insecurity. We are even complaining now that even the government has even complained that even the herdsmen in the country killing, they are not Nigerians. That they came in, we are even talking. How did they come in? When we have security in the borders, how did they come in? Now you now say that they can come in and go and come in. So that means we have a lot of problems.
All right. Now, you talked about having two problems with that. You mentioned one. I'll come back to you to give us more info on the second aspect of your misgivings when we talk about the visa and arrival policy. You've heard him. He spoke at length saying that this somehow contravenes the law that is on the ground. Take it off from there.
Thank you very much. I earlier said before the reaction of the Senate, because proper procedure ought to be followed in taking decisions that will affect us when we are running a democratic government. We are not in a military regime. It's not an era of military dictatorship that you wake up and then you just pass a decree. You can even apply retroactive effect to some decrees. We need to do things properly. No matter how good your intention is, no matter how good your plan is, you need to do things properly. Now, looking at it, it is not just that everybody can just come in. We are saying visa on arrival. Not that you come in without visa. We have some countries visa free. You can just go in at all. But we are saying visa on arrival. And then the only advantage you can look at it, we are not supporting the procedure adopted. But when you talk of get your visa before coming, some steps may be taken that will not be appropriate at the point of obtaining your visa. For example, now a man is seeking to get an American visa or to UK. Then he comes to you. Okay, what are the things, requirements? Sometimes these requirements are packaged in such a way that there is no transparency. But now on arrival, you're already there. You can be properly screened. We have seen you. Okay, you are the one that wants a visa. Okay, let us scrutinize you. What are you here for? Who are you exactly? So we have some of these benefits. You have already seen the person, whether this person should be granted a visa or not. Now you see how those benefits. But the important thing is that this type of policy that affects the country, the population of the country, we already have security challenges. We are tackling it. We have not been able to surmount it. Now, how about if those who are coming in, we add to the security challenges? We also have the advantage, of course. We have economic problems too. We have those who are coming in also, who will come in with some expertise to assist us in tackling some of the challenges we have. We have the advantages and we have disadvantages. But the issue is, it is proper that procedure is followed to ensure that Nigerians are properly carried along, the right things are done, so that we will not find ourselves in a messier situation than we are already now. You can see South Africa, you have the xenophobic attack. At the time it was, Ghana must go, leave our country. Now South Africa, oh, Nigerians, we don't want other nations in our country, leave our country. Hope it will not get a time when Nigerians will start saying also, oh, we don't want you in our country again. Because these are some of the things that may happen if people felt they are not carried along. You say, oh, where is this man from again? Oh, I don't have a job yet. You mean you are the one handling the job? Like already is being complained in Edo State that most of the jobs are given to people from other states by the Edo State government. They are defending the acquisition already. So we should avoid things that will make people complain about the government of the day, especially when they have cause to complain. Not that it's a strange policy, not that we do not have the pros and the cons, the advantage and the disadvantage, but as I already said, the president ought to have taken steps to ensure that we are carried along. Okay. And of course, the Senate can come in here, of course, can use their total majority, you understand, now to take a decision at the Senate and to ensure that this does not happen. He's saying that as from January, we are saying in December, as from January 2020, visa on arrival policy. But if the Senate says no, we are not going to allow it. they have a way of going about it to ensure that it's not, because we have the principle of checks and balances.
The principle of checks and balances. All right, now, Bishop, it's not time for you to throw the second point you've been keeping to yourself. You said you have 2 issues against it. You talked about the first one. Now, what about the second one?
Yes, not too quite long. The federal government closed our borders. That time has come for us to grow what we have domestically. Agriculture, production, manufacturing, that Nigeria should do with what we are producing ourselves. Because by the time we begin to bring those things here, we don't patronize what we have, and we don't encourage our own domestic production, and hence the borders have to be closed. Now, Mr. President is coming again to say by January, I'm going to open everywhere, everybody can call me. To me, it's called policy somersault.
Policy somersault?
Yes,
How?
miscarriage of policy.
How?
You know, when a man talk from here and say one thing, and talk from here and say different thing, different from what he has said before, there's a problem. So there's no, the principle of Congress is not being adhered to. That is my issue. You see, you say they gave reasons why they closed borders. As we speak right now, go to the market, just price. We are going home now. Everybody is going to the village to celebrate Christmas with their relatives. Go and just price bag of rice. You see how much they are selling it now. It's because as a result of the closure of a border that we must grow our own. And the way we grow our own, if you see what you cannot eat Nigerian rice without biting what do you call it, sand, stone. It's something that we cannot really cope with. Despite all these disadvantages, the government said no. Just within a short time, by the time we do this 1, 2, 3 years time, everybody will be okay, will be self-sufficient. Okay, fine. Why again are you not coming again? Coming again to say, oh, come January, that everybody cannot come into the country. I do not see any advantage in that. No advantage, because any foreigner that wants to come into this country that has good idea that you want to bring into the development and growth of this economy, even where they close our border or we put stringent conditions in getting our visa, when you get in there, they engage you with so many questions, and they see that you have what it takes to come in as a potential to develop our economy. Why would they give you a visa? By the time you now open it, it's not a yardstick for people to come. Even you open it like that, it's people that will not add value to what we are doing here, that will come in here. One, the security issue that is affecting us already will be on the high side. Because people will be coming here. By the time they cannot get jobs, because there are no jobs in Nigeria, of course. People who are there, they leave the school, no job. Then by the time those people, those jobless people will not come in here, add to the number we have here, insecurity will be on the high side. And you just discover that even if the afternoon you are driving, they will stop you, collect your car key. So by the time we begin to have all this issue, then where are we say we are going? Today you see people, they will just be, as you are just walking, they will just stop you, think that you want to discover. Good looking people, they will be talking to you, not that they want to beg for money. So when we begin to have these kind of issues, challenges everywhere, we are no longer comfortable. And Mr. President want to add to the issues we are having already. When the issue of closure of border came in, when I look at the ideas, the visual statement and everything, and I was in agreement with the decision, with the policy, that let's close them. Then those, like I personally in Edo State, I said, fine, we have good land in Isha, we have good land in Onwa, they're good for rice production. Let everybody go back to farm. We have Abakaliki and the rest. Let them go back to farm so that we can encourage our domestic production. Okay? Now, today in Nigeria, if you don't wear forest shoes, they say you are old school. But we have those good Abba shoes that we can see encourage. So it's an avenue for governors who cannot think out of the box to begin to think of how to establish some job-creating businesses that can produce those domestic items that we need and generate money and create a job opportunity. But by the time you're not saying that you want to open the door for everybody to come in, then what is the plan? Are we confused? Is the government confused? Is the leadership in commotion? What is the issue? It's as if we don't have a roadmap. It's as if we don't have a foresight. It's as if we don't have a direction. It's as if we don't know where we are going. That is the issue.
Okay, now you heard him. He talked about policy somersault.
Yes.
He talked about confusion. Talked about we don't have a clear cut of where we are going. Over to you.
Now let me take it from there.
Yeah.
You see, the African Union is already working towards single passport for all Africans. In fact, it was planned that by 2018, most of the African countries already have this visa-free policy of visa on arrival. We are moving towards that direction. eventually we shall get there. And it's still going to happen. The only thing, my only quarrel is the procedure. We are not saying just anybody. Africans with their African passports, they can come into Nigeria. On arrival, we'll be talking of your visa, not just anybody. And you still have the opportunity for the immigration service, and those are the borders, to do their job, provided corruption will not come in. But the fear is that with the level of corruption in the country, the appropriate steps that should be taken to ensure that we do not run into serious problems, those steps may not be taken. Of course, we have been battling with corruption, and the corruption is still on, because of course the battle for corruption is like a one-sided battle. There are steps you take, you will never be probed, and there are steps you take, you'll be probed. We have some governors who have been sent to prison, and you have some governors who are not yet in prison. We are not to say that those who have been sent to prison, those are the bad ones. In fact, if you ask me, most of those who are not in prison, they are the bad ones. Because if you are a thief and you are caught, you are not an expert. But the expert thief will steal and he will not be caught. So it is not the one that is behind the bars. And that explains why all you need to do is to be at the right place and know how to go about your unlawful business in the country. Now, on this issue, eventually you will discover that African countries generally will open their borders. There are reasons, of course, there are reasons why you need to shut the borders. For example, security challenges of a disease epidemic, like when we have Ebola. Oh, let us shut our borders. We do not want this to come in. But under normal circumstances, we are Africans, just like you crave to go to any part of the world, Almighty God has created it that we should be free to move to any part of the world we need to go. But of course, there will be checks, because we have human beings who are good, and of course we have human beings who are not good. If we decide to completely make policies to be very difficult, of course it will affect the experts too, from whom the country will benefit. And of course, if you make it too loose, then those who have bad intentions can easily come into your country. And that explains why, as I've been saying, people just need to be carried along. In August, the borders are shut. We are complaining, we are lamenting. Many Nigerians who ordinarily between borders, they conduct their business, market women who will buy in a particular country, cross and sell iron, they've lost their jobs. So you can see the price of commodities in the market. So this appears to be an opposite of what we have been complaining about. Oh, one is the borders are shut completely. Look at the problems. Now, there appears to be another opening now, and then there must be complaints. So no matter the steps that will be taken, there must be reactions. And that is why it's good for a government to ensure that before taking any step at all, ensure that people are carried along.
People are carried along. Now, Alhaji raised the point talking about unification of Africa. Now, that is the goal of the AU, and Nigeria is keying into it. Do you think AU becoming more and more cohesive, more and more one with this policy? Do you think it's better for us as a continent?
We see, I personally, I do not dispute unity.
Cohesion, unity, yeah.
The only thing I have problem with is that of Nigeria, we have a peculiar problem. We have issues right now.
But we are in Africa also.
We are in Africa, but our problems are so enormous. This time we are now is for us to solve our problems. When you put your home together, just put your home in order. Then you can begin to look other ways of how you can accommodate strangers. Just like a family who can barely feed themselves. Yeah, you just travel to the village and you come in with additional people, say, please come and join us. Then when the time comes, now there will be commotion in the house. There's security problem in Nigeria. We are Nigerians, we live here, we know what is going on here. Security problem, yeah. That when it's happening, people will begin to complain to ourselves that the people doing this, they are not from Nigeria. There is security problem issue here already. So I do not want us to heighten it. A situation by open our borders, free entry, free exit. The kidnappers will have they will now have their base outside the country. They can come in and kidnap and take the person out of this country. They will be operating outside the country. They will just come in, and you cannot trace them to where they are. Nigeria has a problem. If we don't have this problem right now, before do we talk like this? We don't talk like this. We have issues at hand. There's insecurity, there's poverty, there is what is called inflation. When we talk about coming together, there's need for people to come in and help us grow our economy. All these are border dash. In the current situation we find ourselves today as a country, what are we trying to do right now? The inflation in Nigeria today is hyper in nature. Why is it hyper in nature? Nigeria has grown to a level whereby we don't believe what we have within. What we just do is we just sit down, wait for people who are busy. When they finish busy, they will bring what they are producing, bring it for us, they will give them the money. Okay? By the time we bring it here, we want to say to ourselves, we add the cost of transportation, the cost of everything, the tariff, everything to it, then before you know it, you can discover that product is no longer what? Affordable. So the time has come, and we are gradually living what we are producing. We are living our own domestic production. Nothing again. If you have a foreign product right now in Nigeria, and you have a domestic product, somebody in Nigeria will ask you, is it foreign? Is it one US? Is it Nigeria? Please take this one away. I don't want to buy Nigeria. Give me US. So this mentality is creeping into the country already, and it's creating a lot of problems. That is why today Nigerian youth don't have jobs, because we don't believe in what we produce. Okay? Because we don't believe in what we produce, those companies producing those things domestically, they are falling up because nobody is patronizing them. They cannot pay salary, and they cannot employ more people. So the government goes, let's close this thing so that we can encourage those people who are producing domestically to continue. That one is dead. See, what I want Nigeria to do is just a policy of self-sustenance for some time. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years. When we're able to grow that, we cannot say, oh, let's accommodate other people. At the level we are now, with the mentality of average Nigerians, if we begin to operate like this, we are not going anywhere. Because we're supposed to be the giant of Africa, a role model, a model to other African countries. But today we're not like that. Even smaller countries, they are now looking down on us because of our mentality and the way we look at it, look at issues. These policies, they are not working in Nigeria. They are not working for now. It's not as if they are not good ones. They are very good ones. But for now, we don't need them. The border is closed. Let's remain closed. You know why I say they should remain closed? Because Nigeria, they are beginning to adapt to the system. We begin to adapt to the system with the way of life in what is going on in the border. But I think you open it again now, we will fall back to the level at which we were before, as if we are not heading anywhere.
All right.
Okay? So
all right,
that is what we are talking about. So we have a purpose, we need a purpose-driven government. Who knows what it's going? If you bring a policy, follow that policy. Let it manifest. Let it bring results. Let it yield dividend. Let people begin to be, oh God, okay, this is what this man was talking about that time. That is why if you plant anything, any crop, you give it time to grow, germinate, then you now bear fruit, then you can harvest.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Well, Nigerians have been talking and people have been reacting to this. Let's see what is going to happen. But the time span given for this to take effect is from January 2020, nearly 2 weeks from now. Let's see if we're going to do it. Is it going to cause commotion? Is it going to make us a better country? Is it going to make us have that African or Pan-African mentality that will make us the big brother of Africa? He talked about the family. Take care of family first before you go out there. While my other analysts talked about integration, talked about people coming in with bright, great ideas to help us solve our own problems. Alwan talked about population. We don't have enough. You're bringing in more. Quite confusing. And we also talked about the president not really bringing it out for debates, just burst into it and made it a kind of allure. Well, let's see what is going to happen. We want to go on a break. When we return, it's all about the Utah. The vices that we are experiencing, we are seeing in this period. What is the way forward? Do stay with us.